folks, in today's video tutorial I'm going to show you how to work with the mass properties and definition of the weight for the 3D model. It's an extension tutorial for the previous one. So let's start with the new 3D model as the T1 or maybe T1, and when we will come from OK, you can see that I am able to create new geometry, and we will specify, for example, the simple shape. What does it mean if we will specify 200, 200, and 200 for the base shape, and we will calculate the mass based on the relation, so we are able to check the relation, but as you know, the calculation for the weight is better if you will use the post-regeneration. And over here, I calculate the total weight based on the mass properties from the 3D model. What does it mean? The mass properties in the 3D model are defined in the file prepare model properties, and what kind of material you are using, the system calculate this information. So in my template, I specified that I would like to use the steel, and we will check the assignment of the material. We can see that I am using the steel material in my model, and actually density is 7.82. So what does it mean? If we will calculate, if I will regenerate model and we will check the parameter, it's really 7.82. If you don't want to always check the parameters by tools parameters or directly by this icon, you can add this information in the model tree. Yeah, so simple. You can select the 3 columns, change the model param, and you can select the parameter and move it to the right. If I will come from OK, the total weight 7.82 is visible here. If we will change the material, file, prepare, model properties, material, I can select, for example, the PVC, set as master, OK, and we will see that right now the weight will be 1.35 for special shape. Yeah, so OK, close and regenerate, and we can see it 1.39. Over here is the question from you, how to specify custom weight. For example, this cube has to be 5 kilograms. It's easy. We have 2 options, and this is what I would like to show you today. So we will do not change any relation as before. In my previous tutorial, I show you that you are able to specify the custom alternate mass and then change the relation and so on. But my model check is directly checking this relation, so I'm not able to change the relation to alternate mass calculation. So I try to find a solution how to do it, and over here is the result. So we will do not change any relation, any preferences in configuration for model check. We will change really only the weight of the object. How? We can use the 2 options, file, prepare, and model properties. And over here you can see that is the mass properties calculation. If I will select the change, you can see that right now the system calculates by geometry, and it's really 1.39. But you can also specify your custom definition of the full assignment of the properties, but you have to really know the basic property, density, volume, and all other center of gravity and so on. So it's a little bit complicated and tricky, so I will choose the geometry and parameters, and I like to really only to change to mass properties to 5 kilograms. So I will select 5, yep, and really I can quit and come from calculate, come from OK, and regenerate model. Now the really total weight of the object is 5 kilograms. If you put this 3D model to the assembly 2 times, will be absolutely the assembly. For example, the result will be 10. Yeah, we can quickly test it. So I will create new assembly and come from OK, and we will add the model to the assembly, and will be default. OK, I will regenerate the assembly. We cannot see the parameter here, so again, simple as before, total weight will be added and 5 kilograms for one model. If I will put a second time, we can fix the position, we will regenerate, and it will be 10. Why the system regenerate? Because the configuration option we are using you can see that I am using that mass property calculate automatic, and this means if I will hit the regenerate button, the system automatically regenerate the relation for me. And in the relation, as before, you can see that my post-regeneration is here specified, so calculation is after regeneration. It's only explanation. Fine. So it was the first example that your 3D model, this one, you are able to change by file, prepare, model properties, mass properties, and change from geometry to geometry and parameters. You can ask me, again, it's a little bit complicated, tricky, maybe takes time. It is possible to do it faster. Yes, of course, we are able to do it faster. So let's again, new 3D model as the T2. And simple, we will create any shape. We can leave the calculation what is there. So I will use the default material. The result is 4.5 kilograms, and we would like to have a custom value. So simple, we can jump to the parameters. Over here, as before in the previous tutorial, we have spoken about alternate mass, but here I will change only this parameter, MP alternate mass. Over here, I will write, for example, that final shape will have 12.25 kilograms, and I don't want to calculate geometry, but parameters. And if you will change this value as the source definite, but parameters, and 12.25, and confirm OK, and regenerate, your 3D model will be 12.25, and if we will put it again to the assembly, then the final result will be automatically calculated. Yep. So I will open the assembly, and over here we will apply the new model T2. We can fix the position only for the quick calculation, and if we will regenerate model, will be really 22.25. If we will go back with calculation from the original value, it's really simple. And you can select the parameters and set alternate mass. We'll use the geometry. Doesn't matter what is written here. If we will confirm OK, if we will regenerate, the system right now calculate based on the material specified because it's a from geometry. And if we will go back to the assembly and we will regenerate, you can see that it is really 12.25 plus these two values, it's 15 kilograms. So simple to say, you are able to specify the geometry calculation based on the material and density and all the internal parameter for the material specified, or you can set the custom value, and the custom value will be definite from the parameter. One additional information, if you would like to calculate the weight by analysis, you can select the analysis, select the mass properties, and if you will click that you would like to have a quick calculation and you will hit the preview, as you can see, right now the system calculates the real definition from the geometry. So density and the mass, you can say it's a 7.39, but you would like to see in your feature final result as the 15. Be careful, please specify it as assigned. And now, if you will hit the preview button, the system will really take the number 15 kilograms. Yep. So also this is the difference between calculate from the geometry and calculate from the parameters. Yep. Thanks for your question, and take care, and bye-bye.